Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and today we're going to be discussing the space program and the Great Reset, because believe it or not, they're actually integral to each other. The hoax of each. And what do I mean, the hoax of each? Well, number one, NASA exists, our space program exists, but the reality behind it is often obfuscated by the propaganda they put out, and that is by design, okay? Compartmentalization is only one of the tools in order to what? Consolidate information and control what the public believe. And in order to do that, you have to have these narratives of how we're going to the moon and we're going to go to Mars and we're traveling the stars. And not only does NASA promote that, but in the infamous commercial for the Great Reset, where they say you will own nothing and you will be happy, they once again promote this idea that we're going to Mars and we got to keep people healthy in space because it's going to be much more of a normal thing. In fact, they even espouse that we're finally going to find alien life. All these things, whether you know it or not, whether you understand it or not, you have been preconditioned, pre-programmed to accept without question. Unless somehow you've broken free of this narrative that has been thrown out there by the predator class for decade upon decade upon decade and utilized by not only the United States government, but governments around the globe to impress upon the people they're going to live in some type of technical utopia. And don't get me wrong, it'd be nice to believe that our destiny is to travel the stars and I'm going to the moon and I'm going to Mars and it's a Star Trek episode or it's a Star Wars movie, right? That would be nice, but that's nothing more than a Disney-created fantasy, okay? There was a reason that the Central Intelligence Agency set up dummy corporations to buy up land so that Disneyland could exist in Florida. You get it? Or I'm sorry, Disney World could exist in Florida. Disneyland's over in California. There's a reason that you saw Wernher von Braun, former top Nazi, on the Disney Channel constantly showing you these different designs and different techniques that were going to put us permanently into space. All right? Yes, the Nazis, NASA, von Braun, Disney, the CIA, it's all connected. It's all connected. And in my opinion, it is the reason that even today, that narrative of aliens now being our masters, our overlords, the people that seeded Earth through transpermia or otherwise, via a constant bombardment of this ancient aliens trash. It's trash, okay? Now, I'm not saying that every single alternative hypothesis about the origins of man is trash. I'm not saying that every single piece of evidence that would suggest there may be life outside of Earth is trash. And I'm not even suggesting that there isn't a possibility that perhaps we have been visited by some type of being, whether it be outside of our solar system or outside of our dimensional reality. And the government, whether it be this one or some abroad, may have knowledge of that and covering it up. I'm not saying any of those things. What I'm saying to you is that you've been fed this specific narrative now with more holes than Swiss cheese, okay, via Ancient Aliens. I would encourage everybody to check out a documentary film that's been around probably about a decade at least now, maybe even more, okay? It's called Ancient Aliens Debunked. It's by a guy named Chris White. He does an excellent job. And he, even at the end, does the right thing because he's a human being, like I'm a human being, and says he doesn't have all the answers. And that, maybe the Nephilim are, the fallen angels of God. Who knows? The guy comes at it from a very Christian perspective, and that's not what we're intending to do today. Today, we're going to show you that part of the Great Reset commercial, and then we're going to show you, as I predicted, and I keep predicting because it's not a hard prediction to make, because it's just what I've seen throughout my entire lifetime. We're going to show you that NASA has now pulled back on the idea that they're going to the moon in 2024. And remember, they were going to the moon in 2020. And we were going to go to the moon in, 2015 when it was in the 90s. They constantly say we're going back, right? We're going back to the moon. And then they never do it. And people forget that only until this year with SpaceX and Elon Musk that we have even used our own rockets to send our own astronauts to the International Space Station. Let me repeat that for everybody. As much as you think it's been Russia, okay, via the media hoax of Donald Trump being an agent of Vladimir Putin, okay, as much as you want to, say, oh no, we've been working with them for decades in space. And for the most part, relying on them and their rocket technology to get astronauts up to the ISS. However, now you've got Blue Sky with Bezos. Bezos just making bank during COVID 1984. Just give it to me. Boom, 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 boom. It was 70 plus billion that his fortune had gone up. Now it's 90 plus billion, reported yesterday. Okay? And here's the thing. When we're talking rockets, if you don't think a guy like Bezos or a guy like Musk doesn't understand that the last rocket that the public was made aware of was the Saturn V, okay, and that technology exists among propulsion systems that are hidden from us, that are far beyond that, well, then you don't understand how technology works. Let me give you an example about the magic box in my hand. This magic box has more computing power than all of the entire supercomputer room in NASA that supposedly navigated us to the moon and back via rocket ships. Rockets. And remember, if rocket technology was so efficient to go into outer space, then why is it the only technology that was not replicated or exceeded by the next leading superpower or any of the other superpowers or nation states? Does that make sense to you? Should it make sense to you? Obviously, there are, again, big problems with this narrative. And that's why we're going to hit that up today, because it is another part of selling you on this great reset. Before we get there, I do want to remind everybody we're fully demonetized on YouTube 7+ months. 6+ months ago, we tried to get our channel reviewed. I just found out yesterday that the Grueling Truth Podcast Network, which carries my Mixed Martial Mindset podcast, the first day they were eligible, they went ahead and they reviewed their channel. They got a response that day. They got a response basically saying that they were re-uploading content that wasn't theirs, or it was repeater content. Obviously, all this content is mine. We don't do repeater content, okay, unless we're re-going over a news clip or something like that. Everything's original. 1,700 plus videos. I can't get thumbnails reviewed they want to take down. Okay? You think they're ever going to remonetize my channel? No, they're looking to pull it. So that's why I want to thank all of you people watching me live now, right here on Rockfin. Because without Rockfin, who knows where we're going to be, folks? We just don't know. But if you are not following me on Rockfin, rockfin.com, ROKFIN.com is where you can find me. Okay, and that's where I'm going to be. And we're doing it live, 11 a.m., Monday through Friday, for free. So make that free account. If you want to go premium, great. You get me. You get Askren. You get Dorr, Iverson, House, Rufus, Sam Tripoli, John Fitch, and so many others. Got somebody calling me there. I'm not sure who it was, but we'll get to them after the broadcast. Folks, this is a platform that is encouraging free speech, right? Through technology, not enslaving people through censorship. So please, please, please consider checking that out. All my documentary films are free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. I want you guys to all check out the YouTube channel as well. Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. Let's get to 60,000. 75,000, 100,000 before they kick me off. Again, we haven't gotten any strikes. Even the video they took off this week, right, that you can still find on Rockfin about the Great Resistance, didn't get me a strike because they know I haven't violated any of their terms. I don't call for violence. It's not about cyberbullying. All my facts about COVID-19 84 are backed up by authoritative sources, and we do it live. Otherwise, they would have licked their lips, cackled away, shown their chops, and just deleted me anyway. And it's probably going to happen. Okay, I'm having more and more problems with this platform than you can imagine. So it's probably going to happen. With all that being said, I want to remind people that it is now official that the CDC has put out total death numbers for the year of 2020. And compared to 2018, we're actually going to have less death. So all these people that, again, buy into the Johnny nonsense promoted by the media, you need to show them this, and you need to show them that here's the link. We're going to put it into the Rockfin stream right here. If you're watching on Rockfin, here's the link. Anybody can go here. It's right here. No more telling me that there's 300,000 extra deaths this year. That's not true. You, unfortunately, do not have the capacity to think for yourself. And then when someone presents counter information, you do mental gymnastics to keep yourself in an intellectually dishonest state of being. Because it's all you know. Because you've grown up a bootlicker. You like being a bootlicker. You think that you're doing good. You think you're always right. And you think the government loves you when it's the government you like, right? When it's team baseball and you're either on team Democrat or team Republican, team conservative or team liberal. That's when your brain functions at a very low vibrational level, okay? And let me assure you, if you believe that these people are here to help, let's keep it up just so you can read all the thing. And that we're going to Mars, your brain is at an extremely low vibrational level where you are craving 4K entertainment being shot upon you via Matt Damon and The Martian and all sorts of other contrived bullshit. You could be preparing to go to Mars. Wow! Me? I could go to Mars? Again, the utter ignorance that the common person is going to Mars is unbelievably laughable. If you understand what it takes to be an astronaut today in 2020, unfortunately, it is very similar to what it was in the 60s and 70s, where you have to be prepared, okay, where you have to get into these mechanisms that throw you around and give you these massive G-forces that you could only even slightly experience by going on world famous roller coasters, okay? Forget about all the other problems of the suits, of the Van Allen radiation belts, of if you're using rocket technology, the fuel to get there and back. Forget about all that. Okay? Just your human body alone isn't cut out for space travel. But you could be going to Mars. And then they tell you we already would have worked out, okay, how to keep you healthy in space and to start the journey to find alien life. This is why we're covering this today, because this is World Economic Forum globalist, New World Order propaganda that has been refashioned, recycled, and repurposed. What? To promote a great reset of humanity. And it's still the same steaming pile of horse shit that it was yesterday, that it was last week, that it was last month, that it was last year, that it was 10 years ago. And as I said, they're already backing off. 2024 moon landing may not happen, according to NASA. No shit, it's not happening. No shit, it's not happening. Excuse me. I've been guaranteed that this would occur my entire life. My entire life. From the time I was sitting in a lunch line drinking chocolate milk out of a milk carton while watching the Challenger explode on TV, right? With those first teachers that were being put into space, right? They weren't going to the moon. They were just being put into space. And that exploded. And maybe that triggered my brain a little bit. Boy, wow, rockets aren't that safe. Maybe I've held on to that. Maybe I'm bad for that. Maybe I'm bad for remembering over and 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 over again, being told that this is it. We're going to walk on the stars. And it's dangerous, believe it or not. It's not just happy-go-lucky. It's dangerous to believe these things. Because if you believe these things, you believe in these, benevolent members of the elite that are going to share a technology that's going to empower humanity and create a space force that shall travel the galaxy, Picard style. And maybe we will have a Deep Space Nine type space station with all sorts of different beings from all sorts of different planets. And I don't buy it. I don't buy it. When you dig deep, when you get into things like Area 51 and other black sites, what do you find? What do you find? You find human experimentation. You find compartmentalization. You find control of information. You have craft that have separate propulsion systems than the ones that we're being told about. That's what you find. You don't find that we're going to the moon, or that Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum are going to lift us all up via space travel. That's what you don't find, sir. That's what you don't find. So, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. I know this one was a short one, but maybe we'll just keep this one exclusively over here at the Rockfit. I don't know. Maybe I think we're going to have to put this one on YouTube, too, because it's kind of clean and it's important to go over. So you saw it here first. You can support the program, $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Big donors. I'd love to hit that goal. I'd love to. I don't know if we're going to hit 5,000, obviously. But by the weekend, when it's all almost over, if we can get to at least 4,000, that would be fantastic. That would be amazing. Again, I couldn't do it without you guys. So thanks for joining me on the Rockfin. If you haven't made that free account, I don't know what you're waiting for. Are you waiting for me to become completely torn off of YouTube for daring to say we're not going to the moon in 2024? Is that it? Make sure you make the free account. Make sure you're checking out all the documentary films, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. And guys, if you are watching on YouTube, thumbs it up, subscribe, share, join the Burmis Brigade. I love you. And I will see you all on the flip side.